Hi, in this video I want to discuss the settings. Now if you will notice, if you are operating HR Tech, for example if you are on the employee, you'll see that on each record there are many drop downs. Like for example here, job title, you can select job titles, and then department, you can select which department, work group, and so on. Okay, so this is not only on employee. Even if you go to other forms, like for instance the salary, okay, you will see here that you can select for example other compensation type, and so on. Okay, so this is true, this is in most of the forms in HR Tech. Now the question is, where is this data are coming from? These things, that these items that you are selecting on each of the drop down. Okay, so these items didn't come from nowhere. Okay, they have what you call the data source, and that data source is actually the settings. Okay, now how do we go to settings? Okay, so to go to settings, all you have to do is to go to configuration and then settings. Okay, so these are actually the current settings in the system, but of course as it evolves, there will be additional settings that will be created. So it depends on the requirements of the system, or even the clients that is using HR Tech. But currently these are the settings that you can do in the system. Now some of these settings I already discussed in detail in some of my videos, but let me give you a quick walkthrough on each of these settings. Okay, but first of all, these settings is actually being accessed by the administrator. I mean, not all users should access this, at least by design. That is because only the administrator knows what are the master tables to be used in the system, like what are the banks, what are the branches, companies, and so on, that will be used in the system. So therefore you should not give rights to all your users, although it's possible that you can give all your users on the settings, but that is not advisable due to data security and also consistency. Okay, now when you are going here in the settings, this is actually your menu. Okay, these are the buttons where you can go to any of these settings. Okay, now as you can see, there are many settings that are displayed on your screen. Okay, and you will notice that these are arranged alphabetically, that is from left to right and then down. Okay, but for example you are still having difficulty finding a particular setting, so you can type a keyword here. For instance, you're looking at tax table. Where's the tax table? I cannot find it. So all you have to do is to put a keyword. For example, you say tax and then click search, then it will filter your menu based on that keyword. So as you can see, it only displays withholding tax table because that is the only setting that has the keyword tax among the settings. Okay, now to go back to all settings, all you have to do is to clear the keyword and then click search again. So as you can see, it displays everything, all the settings in the system. Okay, Now to go to each of the setting, all you have to do is to click the button corresponding to that setting. Like for example, if I want to go to region, I will click region, and then it will display the list of all the records that are already entered on that particular setting. In this case, the region. So I have all the regions on the screen right now. Now, if you want to add a record, although I discussed this already in my previous videos, but I just give you a quick review. So you always go to the add new record, and then you fill up the corresponding fields. For example, here I say region 5, for example, and then region 5. Then you just click save. So as you can see, its action was done successfully. So if you receive this message, that means there was no problem in saving, so therefore it is now in the database. Now, to go back to the list, all you have to do is to click this exit. Okay, and by the way, you should always use this button, not this button. Okay, you can observe that in many browsers like Firefox or Google Chrome, there's a back button on the browser itself that is built in. But I don't recommend using that. Okay, the reason is because if you will click the back button of the browser, program has no control on it. The one that is controlling the behavior of this button or this back button is the browser. Okay, and for your information, browser is not what I mean is it is not being controlled by the programmer of the website of the system. There is another group of people, or even companies, who are developing browsers like Mozilla Firefox, like Google. They develop Google Chrome. Microsoft has developed the Internet Explorer, although it's not that popular nowadays. What they have right now is the Edge. Okay, so those things, or those browsers, they have their own programmers, developers. So therefore, it is behaving based on what they program it to do. So me as a developer, I don't have control on how the browser will work. Okay, I just adapt on what are the available features that I can use on the browser. So therefore, since I don't have control about the behavior of this back button, which is already a part of the browser, so I advise you not to use it. Although you can use it, but you will get unpredictable result. Okay, that's the reality. That's because it's not being controlled by the developer of the system, as I said. Okay, so make sure whenever you want to go back on the previous screen, make sure to use this exit button that is built into HRTech. Okay, and that's true for all, not only for settings. Even when you are in payroll or timekeeping, or even employees. Okay, so make sure if you want to go back to the previous screen, click this exit. Okay, and by the way, let me go back here. Whenever you are on this screen, you can actually add a new record. Okay, after entering one record, you don't need to go back to the list. You can quickly create another record by clicking add new record here, and then enter it again. Okay, so that is the basic manipulation or operation of the settings. Okay, let me now, if you want to go back to the menu of these settings, because as you can see, this is a single page application. So when you say single page application, you only see one page at a time. No, it's not designed as a multiple page website. Okay, it is designed, so HR Tech is designed as single page application, so you only see one page at a time. But of course, you can always open it in multiple browsers, like what I'm showing you right now. I open it in Firefox, and also at the same time on the Chrome, Google Chrome. I can also open another browser like Edge, and then put my username and password, and I can already access the system in 3 browsers. Okay, so let me go back here. So if you want to go back to the menu of settings, all you have to do is to go to configuration and then settings. Okay, so you are now on the menu of the settings. Now, although I already discussed some of these in my videos in detail, so let me give you a quick walkthrough about its settings. So of course we have the accounts where you put all the accounts in the system that is used for journal entry. Okay, so you have here the account ID, description, and so on. So please watch my video regarding accounts for more details. And then we have here the bank. Okay, so bank is actually used when you are creating the bank text file. No? Normally you are assigning it to the employee master here. So if you go to employee master, so one of the employees, for example, Park Shin, you will see here in the payroll. Okay, so on the payroll there is a bank, so you should assign the bank for that employee. Okay, so that when you generate the payroll for her, she will be assigned on that bank. So when you create a text file for a particular bank, she will be included on that bank. Okay, so when you go to the bank, as you can see, these are the list. So the basic fields are, of course, the bank code, the bank name, account number, that is account number of the bank, and also there is the assigned code. Excuse me. So assigned code is actually the code that was assigned by the bank to your company. So every bank, they have their own code for you, so because they have their own system also, so therefore the coding that they have can be different from you. So therefore, whatever the code that was assigned to you, you just put it here. So most of the banks are like that, no, but not all. Okay, so it depends on the format of the text file. So some of the banks, they don't need this assigned code, but in case you need it, you should put it here. Okay, and then here you will see the text file format, where this is actually the basis of the system, what format to be created on the text file, because as you know, there are many banks in the world, not only in the Philippines. Okay, so all of these, normally when you are paying your employees, they require you to submit a text file. Okay, now when HR Tech is creating a text file, of course it should know what format it should create. Okay, so the basis of that format is here. So if it is from Metrobank, you should select MBTC. If it is from Banco de Oro, you should select BDO, and so on. Okay, so that is actually the basic settings for the bank. So let me go to another setting. Let's say the branch. So the branch is actually, you are assigning it to your employee. So basically this is just branch code and the description. So if you go to payroll, you are actually assigning it to your employees here. So the all these items that can be selected here are coming from the branch setting. Okay, so another setting is the company. So company basically composed of the code, the name, and also the SSS number. So SSS number, as I said, this is being used for when you are submitting text file to the SSS, when you are remitting the premium, and also the branch code. So you are assigning it on the employee here. On the organization, it is not displayed here because whatever company you are currently right now, for example here BSF, so it means this employee is on the BSF because system is actually filtering the records based on the company that was selected here. So whenever you select a company here, it corresponds to that company. So if you create a new record, for example a new employee or a new payroll, a new salary, it is actually applied to the current company that was selected here. So be careful on that. Make sure you are on the right company when you are entering record. Okay, otherwise you will encounter a problem wherein you cannot find an employee on a particular company. You are expecting that employee to be on on BSF, but actually it is on Agora, for example, when you entered it. So be careful when you are entering records. Make sure you are on the right company. Okay. And then another setting is of course the compensation type. So this is actually being used on the salary. So let me go here. It is being used here. So all the drop downs that you can see here are coming from the compensation type. So I already discussed in detail about the salary and also the other compensation in the payroll. So make sure you watch that video for you to understand the usage of the compensation type. But just to give you a quick review, so of course there is a code and there is the description, and the tax classification is you are using it in order to classify on which total in the payroll it will be. So either it is on the de minimis or other income or other allowance, for example. And then this one is being used for the ALPALIS, okay, and also the for any tax purposes, okay, in order to classify on which column it should be when you are generating the report related to BIR. Okay, and then here you are specifying the rate type, whether it's monthly, daily, or annually. So this actually refers to this amount. Okay, so whatever amount you are putting here corresponds to this rate. So if you say 24,000, so it means per month here, monthly. So if you say daily here, so it means 24,000 per day. So if you put here annually, so it means for 1 year. And there are times that it is a quantity, because sometimes it's not in peso value, sometimes in quantity. For example, a gasoline. So it can be in liters. So you will select the quantity rather than the amount. Okay, and then here is the payment schedule. So it means when is it being paid? Is it per period? So every payroll period, or just the last period of the month, or manually? So it means you just enter it manually in the system. As I discussed in the payroll, you can add other compensation manually in payroll. And then here is the account. So which account it belongs, this particular compensation. Okay, so that when you generate the journal entry, it will be included on that amount, on the total of that particular account. Okay, so for more details about journal entry, please watch my video regarding journal entry in payroll. And then another setting is, of course, the deduction type. So this deduction type is being used in the payroll deduction or the auto deduction. So again, there is a description, a code description. So loan type is actually, in order to classify it on the columns in the payroll. So as you know, in the payroll, there are loans that are summarized. So if you put it SSS, so it will go to the SSS, cash advance, or the others. So another field is the payment schedule. Again, it's the same, whether it's per period, last period, or just manually enter it. And then here you will select whether it's perpetual. So perpetual means there's no balance being maintained by the system. So you just deduct again and again to the employees until the end. Okay, it's perpetual. Unlike if it is not perpetual, that means you have a balance, for example, of 100,000, and then you're deducting 10,000 per month. So after 10 months, it will be paid, fully paid. So no more deduction will be done to the employee. So that is what you call not perpetual. Okay, and then there is another setting here, which is whether it's refundable or not. So when it is turned on, it means that deduction is refundable. So when the employee resign or leave the company, it will be included on the final pay when it is refundable. So one example is, for example, cash ban. So some companies they're having cash ban when they hire the employee. So it is refundable when the employee resign to the company. And then here there is deduct from final pay. So whenever there is a balance on this particular deduction type, and then you create the final pay, it will be deducted from the income. So for more information about final pay, please watch my video regarding final pay. And then here is the union due. So when you turn it on, it means this particular deduction will be included in the union dues. Okay, and then again there is this account. So on which account it will be included in the payroll when you generate the journal entry. Okay, so same thing in the department. So this is being assigned to the employee here. So each employee, they have their department here. So the drop down that you are seeing here is coming from the department. So we have also the employment status. So again, this specify what's the status of the employee, whether is it under probationary, or the employee is already regular, or just on a casual basis. So it means you're just calling the employee when he's required to do something. Okay, so it's not regular, or it's not even a probationary. Okay, and then another setting is the formula. So I already discussed this in one of my videos. And then holiday, I also discussed this in one of my videos. Job title, this is where you are enumerating the job title of the employees. So basically, it has only code and description. So this is being selected here again on the job. Okay, so on the job there is the job title here. Okay, so all the drop downs that you are seeing here is coming from the job title. And then leave type, so this is being used when you are applying leave. Okay, so you can specify whether a particular leave is with pay. So because not all leaves are with pay, so when it is with pay, it means it will be included in the payroll, or it will be included in the basic pay of the employee. When the employee did not report on that day and she has an approved leave, so it will be paid. Otherwise, if it is turned off like this, it will never be paid. So when the employee did not report on that day, she will never be paid. So cumulative, so when it is turned on, if there is a remaining balance on that particular leave type, it will be forwarded for next cutoff or for the next year. And then minimum days that can be in cash, so you are specifying here the maximum days that can be in cash. So for example, if the employee has a balance of 10 days for this leave, so if you say only 5, so only 5 can be in cash, so the other 5 will be voided already. Okay, and then here is the maximum days that can be consumed in advance. So if your system is earned leave, so even though the employee did not yet earn the leave, so she filed in advance, so you can put here the maximum days that can be consumed in advance. Okay, because sometimes the earned leave of the employee is only 5, for example, and she's filing for 8 days. So since you put here 5, the advance is only 3, because she already earned 5. So in this case, it will be accepted by the system. Okay, so that of course depends on your policy. And then another setting is the premium contribution table. So this is actually the basis for calculating the SSS, PhilHealth, and Pag-ibig, which I already discussed during the calculation of payroll. And the pay frequency, so this is how many times you are paying the employee. I already discussed this in one of my videos. And then the pay rate, so which is being used for calculating the overtime and also the night differential, and if the employee come for work during the special days like holidays and so on. And then the payroll calendar, I also discussed this on one of my videos. Payroll group, so this is also assigned to the employees so that you can group your employees in one go. So whenever you are processing a payroll, you are specifying the payroll group. So wherever is that employee assigned, on which payroll group, so she will be included on that particular group. Okay, and then here it is, this payroll group. Okay, and then I also want to mention that you should also be careful when you are generating the payroll regarding the payroll group, because whatever payroll group is set here during the time you generate the payroll, so that employee will be included on that payroll group. Okay, so make sure this payroll group is updated whenever you are generating payroll. Otherwise, you will notice that one of the employees is not included on a particular payroll group. That's because this payroll group is not updated. So make sure whenever you, although it's not advisable that you are transferring an employee from one payroll group to another, although it's possible in the system, but I don't recommend doing it because based on my experience, there are many confusions that are happening, because sometimes they are expecting that the employee should be on this payroll group, but it's not included. So make sure this payroll group is updated when you are generating the payroll. And then another setting is of course the payroll type, where you are specifying what are the items that can be included on the payroll. So I have a detailed video about that. And then the region, this is actually again being assigned to the employee, on what region she belongs. This is actually being used when you are calculating when you are generating a change in the salary for a particular region, because whenever there is a change in the minimum wage of employees, it is actually being applied per region. So make sure when you generate the salary, or you process the salary for minimum wage earner, so make sure the region was properly assigned to the employees. And then of course the schedule of the employee, so you are also assigning it here in the employee, on which schedule she belongs. Okay, yeah, here schedule. And then ship is, of course, you specify here what are the time slot per day. So I also have a detailed video regarding this when I discuss about the schedule. So there is a shift start and also the break. So what time is the break and what time it ends, and how many hours is for that particular shift, and if there is a break hours on that particular shift, and if it is crossing a date, that means it is the timeout will be on the other day. And then of course the withholding tax table. So I already discussed this in the payroll when you are calculating the tax. And finally the work group. So I have also a detailed discussion about work group. So work group is also assigned for its employee here, work group. Okay, and that's it. So that's how easy it is to use the settings in the HR Tech. So actually, just to make it easier for you, whenever there is a drop down and then you want to add item for that drop down, you always think of the settings, because the settings normally it is being used for any selection or drop down in the system. Okay, so whenever there is a drop down and you want to add, just go to the settings. So if you have any question, please put it on the comments below. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.